So there's Steve and Steve. We got the teammate in here.
Yep.
So let's see. How are we going to do the difference here? Steve Senior. How about that?
How about Steve and Steven?
So Steve and Steven. Who's going to be Steven? Because I know Steve as Steve.
Oh, okay. Then do Senior and Junior. How's that?
All right.
Up to you. You let us know, and we'll apply.
So Steve Senior, you came to Prime after Steve Junior over there. So what influenced you to switch careers? Because you were at the company you were at for a while, weren't you? Were you close to retirement, or are you vested?
Well, I kind of was. I worked for Coca-Cola. Okay, and I was a merchandiser, and I was there for 13 years. And what led me to go truck driving was two reasons. One was to go help out my son, team with him, make things easier on both of us. And second was the work I was doing at Coca-Cola was getting a little bit too hard. So I needed a job to slow me down a little bit, or not as physical, and plus also with my last job, they cut my pay. So I was looking to get out of there in some which way that could make it better for me. So the opportunity came that my son went out to go drive the truck, and it seemed pretty easy and decent money. So I decided to, go for it at a late age.
Go for it.
Yeah, I never in my wildest dreams would think I'd be driving a truck, even though I like driving big things, but I would never think I would take it as a career. But it was the best thing I ever did.
Best thing. So no looking back to going back to Coca-Cola.
Absolutely not. No. Now, and that was a great job just as well. I mean, I had no problems there. They loved me. I loved them. It was a simple, easy job. It just got too physical. I was getting too old. And so the trucking thing, it just worked out perfect.
Yeah, just don't let those flatbedders know that it's not that physical. We're still out there working hard. I got a lot of flatbedders in here, and they be always talking trash that reefer doesn't work hard. We work hard.
Oh, we work hard, but it's it's not as physical. That's the thing is I think we need more skill. As a reefer versus a flatbedder. That's my fault.
So what's the goal? Are you have like a truck drive for 10 years and then I'm gonna go ahead and retire, or like what's your goal to get out of trucking?
All right. Well, my goal is to retire naturally at a lot easier pace than what I was going. And still stay on board with the trucking, because it can't be done at an older age. So, and just bring it down to, instead of a full-time type of thing, do a couple of months on with the trucking, then take a couple of months off and stay home, because you get bored. I'm sure you do. I'll be retiring in like 7 years or something like that, 8 years, whatever the age is. I don't even know anymore, but I'm 58. So I only got whatever it takes to retire. And then from there, I just want to stay on board and help out my son as a extra for him, basically.
Yeah.
Sound right?
Yeah, that sounds good, because then he'll be retired. He'll have his own truck. And whenever you get bored at home, hey, I'm going out over the road with you. Right.
And I could do it for a couple of months and then stay home for a couple of months. There'd be no necessary gotta work, gotta go crazy, I gotta pay the bills, because I'll be retired.
Yeah, it'd be more like a hobby.
Yeah, to help out and just to keep myself busy. You need to do something after you retire. So what's it hurt to go drive a truck? It could be done by you see the guys out there that can barely walk and they're still driving a truck. So
yeah, I seen a flatbedder using a cane walking up, and he would hook his bar on there and lift himself up, and I was like, wow, man, that guy's out there still doing this. It's like,
especially with
so what happened, Steve? Steve Jr., what happened? Why did you go lease from company if everything was going so great, company teaming?
Well, being company, it has its limits. And there's only so much you can do. And at the same time, the position we were put in was there was a lot of slowdown with the freight, and we were real limited by our loads. Doing a lot of sitting around, getting our back-to-back resets and all that. So we kind of figured, well, at least lease, we don't have to run the miles as hard, because being the company side, we needed miles, and all the loads we were getting were short. A couple hundred miles here, maybe 1,500 to 2,000 miles for the week. That's good for a solo driver, not a team, especially when your rate is on the mileage. So we figured might as well just give lease a try. It's one thing Prime had was a good walk-away lease program. So if it didn't look good after a few months, just be like, okay, tried. You go somewhere else, try something else, do something else.
So you leased the first truck you leased it, and your dad was the company driver, correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, I went on as signing the lease so he could stay company and he could still get the company benefits. Because going company to lease, you lose your company
insurance,
benefits, insurance, all that.
vacation pay, sick pay.
You give up all your company perks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so it'd be easier for him to stay company and get the benefits and the health care and all that. I'd go get my own. And he still gets cent per mile, whereas I get revenue from the truck. And he gets paid for my revenue, depending how good the truck goes that week. Revenue-wise, all the miles get calculated up and then comes out after the truck payment and fixed costs. His miles come out, and then the rest comes to me, and then from that goes to taxes and whatnot. But yeah, it can be done team, lease, and company, and then some other drivers can do a split lease, but that's for if you're really, you're going to succeed as a team and really stay together through it. Mostly for like married couples or couples in general. They know they're going to be together on it.
I was told that they weren't doing the split lease no more because it was causing too much issues with people splitting the lease.
Right.
One of the people couldn't keep the truck and finish the lease, so I heard that Prime did away with it.
Well, they recommended that when we actually went lease, because we told them we want to split everything down 50-50. And the Abacus was the one that told us, do us a favor. He says, like 99 out of 100 do not stay together. And it's a bigger issue to try to split the lease after you joined it as a 50-50. So, that's when he recommended one go company and one stay lease. And it was easier. On their end, they said just as well, because like I say, majority of them do not survive, the lease together. Because team, it's hard to find two people that can get along and stay getting along. We're doing it almost 5 years. Find a team that lasted that long, it's a miracle. And there is trouble between a father and son, or husband and wife, or brother and brother, cousin and cousin. They wind up somehow fighting. And it's difficult, to keep it going. So that's when they suggested just to split. And that's why I stayed company. And I grabbed the benefits while I'm at it. So it works out pretty good.
Yeah, because the biggest problem you're going to have doing a split lease down the middle is when one does want to walk away from it. They got to redo the whole lease, the contract. It throws everything up. And you basically start on a fresh lease again. And you're not really getting those lease completion benefits and whatnot. It throws a wrench into it all. And it's just more paperwork, especially on the company side.
So what's kind of a fair pay cent per mile for a company driver to jump on a lease truck? What's a fair cent per mile?
Match.
Look, he's looking at you with eyes all open like, oh, let's hear this. How much is fair, buddy?
Well, you got to understand, I'm the father, he's the son, and I'm helping. I'm helping it. I'm helping out my son, okay? I'm trying to make it easy for him. I'm at the end of my line. He's at the beginning of his line. So, but as for fair, I mean, what I take isn't wouldn't be considered fair. That's what you consider a father helping a son. Okay, so that, throw that out the window. But as a fair price, I guess just basically what they would pay as a company driver.
You'd want to match it to how the company runs the truck, because again, even though say you'd want to average 28 to 30 cents a mile for the company driver, that sounds good some weeks, bad other weeks. Because the truck goes by revenue. Say you only do 1,000 miles for the week, but you get $8,000 in revenue. That's only 1,000 miles.
As a company driver versus the lease owner up, or in this position, when it comes to overtime, layoff, all that other extra money you
detention, truck order,
all that. Now that's up to the owner of the truck, because he gets the whole kit and caboodle. It would be up to him to split it with that driver. Say he were to take on right. See, I don't take it. Like when we get detention, he gets it all. Or if we get any kind of anything extra other than the miles that I get, or if he gets, am I screwing this up?
The company driver just gets the flat cent per mile.
Right.
No bonuses, no extras. Anything of that goes to the truck, and it's up to the leaser to take that bonus and split it in half, or hand over a certain percent.
So when it comes to basically, we're sitting there for 2 nights, and the truck is getting detention, or he's getting a truck order, not tono, truck order, not whatever. Yeah. Okay, that all goes right to the owner up, and it's basically up to him to split it with the company driver, because it's basically even. But I don't take that, naturally trying to help him out. All right. And so it changes things, you know what I mean? Because that's where, when it comes to a team, it gets complicated. Really, it does.
And that's pretty much the point of team. You're team load, team truck, but you also got to work like a team. Somebody's going to take more, somebody's going to take less. You got to be kind of fair or okay with it with each other.
Who's driving nights?
There's still ways to do straight up 50-50, but it goes week by week.
Yeah.
Depending on your revenue and your miles.
Right. You guys have to get along, number one. Number two is, it probably turns into you're doing more, I'm doing more than you, or I'm doing the nights, you're doing the days, or you're doing all the deliveries, I'm doing all just the driving. It could get brutal, and that's where the fights, I guess, begin, because now all of a sudden somebody thinks they're doing more than the other guy, or who's stuck driving at night, you got to come to a compromise. And I think, that's where it gets a little rough, right?
Yeah, it starts getting personal. If somebody wants a little more, or somebody else is getting easier.
Yeah, they feel the other one's doing less than what they're doing. That's where it can get heated.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you have to realize it's a team truck, and y'all have to work together and get it done. I've been there. I know what that feels like. Like my teammate was always saying, "Man, I'm doing all the miles. You ain't doing nothing." I'm all like, "Dude, I'm doing all the deliveries and stuff. What are you talking about? I'm doing I'm checking in, all this stuff. Like, you're just driving all night. Like, there's a difference. Nighttime, you can really put in some miles. During the day, sometimes you get stuck in that traffic and stuff.
Plenty of it.
And even though, say you do a load and you both have the same clock at the end of it, but you got 250 to 200 mile difference between each other. And that's, depending on what cities you're going through at what times. That's all about timing.
Yeah. And so you finished did you complete your lease and get the lease bonus on your first truck?
Yes. The first truck that we turned in our company truck, went lease, took one off the board, and completed its lease. Yeah. And we got.
And now you're doing the ACE lease.
Yeah. When we finished that last lease, and what brings me back to company side, lease side, was changing trucks. And you know how it is to change a truck. Everything you got to move over.
Hate it. I helped you move into your ACE lease truck.
Yes, you did.
I did a little bit. I stood in between the trucks and handed stuff across for a little bit.
How big of a help that was,
It'll climb it in and out, up and down.
Up and down, yeah.
And it's even worse for solo. But part of my intention for Ace Lease was to kind of just get rid of that. Keep this truck longer instead of every 3 years or 2 years, whichever comes first. Instead of changing trucks so often, it's more of a home on wheels. Everything's gonna stay there until the truck has to get changed. But
so Ace Lease means at the end of the lease, the truck is yours, right?
Yep. After you do a final payment and then no more truck payment, and all yours, and it's a few extra bucks a week. That doesn't have to go to a payment, and you get to keep it as long as you can maintain it. Especially when the warranty runs out, it's up to you to do the repairs and pay the cost of repairs if you ain't got the warranty. And in the end, it's you can look back on it at 1,000,000 miles and go, yeah, this odometer has a whole 1,000,000 miles on it that we did, and it's still our truck. I'd rather pay the cost of a rebuilt engine than start a whole new lease again.
Do you guys use proper bathrooms? Do y'all stop at truck stops and use bathrooms? Do y'all go in bottles? Do y'all go in cups? I know Steve Jr.
Yeah. Well, when you gotta go, you gotta go. So, fortunately enough, you're never more than at least an hour from a truck stop.
Depending on how you can hold it. The older you are, the harder it is. Believe me. So, yes, we do use proper bathrooms when we can. If not, then it's peeing in a bottle. And in the worst case scenario is pulling over and, crawling under the trailer and doing your number 2. I mean, it happens. I mean, there's times you can't hold it, and that's it.
Yeah, you always want to keep a couple empty bottles handy in case you're also stuck in a storm or blizzard.
And wipies. Yeah.
And baby wipes are a big plus.
One wipe Charlie's.
Hey, survival. Hey, it's not like you could walk from your home and you're on your couch and you got to go, and it's a 10-step walk to your bathroom. It's just not.
Try having to go and go out to your car and drive into the next town, cross a bridge or two.
You're sleeping and you got to get up, get dressed.
Jump out in the ice cold and have to walk to the truck stop or raining or hailing outside.
That's nature of the beast. So
they try to, but they can't always do that. Greenwich says, do y'all switch driving shifts ever so often, or are you set on driving doing nights and the other one doing days only days?
Yeah, we kind of stick to the same schedule each time we go out. That's how we've been doing it the last 5 years. And he'll do the nights, I'll do the days, and it works for us because for him, it's easier at night, less traffic, and more steady pace. And then during the days, I'm pretty much going through LA, Atlanta, Nashville, Memphis, all that. And it could be stressful, but I can handle it a little better. Just let the traffic go, stay with it. And when he goes through at night, he just gets to cruise right through.
Yeah,
probably still with the cruise on most of the time.
We do 12-hour shifts. We live off the Central Time where our company's located, and then whatever happens from 6 in the morning to 6 at night is his responsibility, and then 6 at night at 6 in the morning is my responsibility. Whether it's driving, delivering, or picking up, or whatever the deal is, those 12 hours are mine to do whatever happens. Yeah. We just stick to that, and it actually works, which I don't mind driving at night. It is a lot better and a lot easier, but staying awake becomes a problem, and you learn to deal with it. But the daytime is more stressful. So, but it works for us, it works.
And the 12
Yeah, as
hour
long as
shift,
you have a system that works for you guys, you know, it doesn't matter because it works for you guys. You found out the way that works best for you. Greenwich says, very true, senior. Age is not your bathroom buddy.
What does that say? Very true, senior.
yeah.
Yeah, well, there you go. You know,
Yeah.
at least you know. They'll find out when they get older. The younger generation out there.
So if you love this content that I put out on this channel, then make sure you click the next video right there. Also, if you want to check out some playlists I have right there. Don't forget, Thursday night lives, 7 p.m. Central Time. You can come ask your own questions and answers and get all the information you want. And if you want to subscribe to this channel, then go ahead and click that face right there.